you're attempting to finish a sentence or you haven't finished making a point. So if you're okay, I'm good. But I
Yeah,
can't see
that's so. Oh, well, I'm not going to say unfortunate, but I wish you can because I started laughing because we both have on yellow. This was not planned, people. This was not planned. I didn't know. I just felt led to wear yellow and gold today, and here it is. My best friend, co-host. She's wearing yellow. So I'm trying to tell you, like, yeah, yeah. Tonight is gonna be good. Tonight is gonna be
we're
good.
always vibing on the same frequency.
Yes.
Even unintentionally, we're always vibing on the same frequency. So
Yes.
I'm so happy that we were able to get on together, even though we can't together, or I can't see you rather. I don't know if you can see me. Well, obviously you can't because you mentioned I'm wearing yellow, so you can see me. Even though I can't see you, I'm just glad that we were able to go on at the same time. So
Yes.
how you want to run it tonight? You want to jump into the cards or go into conversation? Because I haven't done the introduction yet. So let me know if you want to do
Let's. I think we should.
conversation.
I think we should start it off with the conversation and take some questions to provide examples.
Okay, well, I definitely have that written in my to-do list for the collective to ask questions. Ask and it shall be given to you. So let's go ahead and jump it off, right, as we always do. If it's your first time here, welcome. If not, welcome back. I'm actually Anya, an intuitive alchemist and energy reader. And I'm just here to help y'all heal. And we're healing through humor because laughter is the best medicine. B.
Yes. All right. So I have an update for you all, including Bestie, because this just happened. Um, I have been trying. I've been asking Spirit. What is the name? Because my B is like my nickname, my affiliated name with myself. But I said in this space, what should I be called? And I got that one tonight. Mogun.
Mogoon.
Mogun.
Well, I had to write that down. Hold up. Hala, 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 hala.
In different languages, it's pronounced Mogan. I will say that because it's spelled the same way. So if you're from, like I would say, an Arabic speaking country or from India, it's the same way. Mogan. Mogun. So,
Okay.
but it's pronounced
I like
Mogan. Um, I've had several different meanings behind it, so I'll just keep that. But I will say, so I am Mogan. Um, I am what I am. Spirit uses me how Spirit decides to use me, and that's how I do things. But if you know me personally, you know me personally. But and I still will use a symbol of the bee because that's who I am. That was something Spirit led. But I do a lot of things, but most first and foremost, Ashley, excuse me, Anye, Anye and I are healers. And so whenever you step into this space, just believe and know that you will get some sort of healing from us.
We ain't talking about Marvin Gaye healing. We ain't talking about sexual healing. We
No,
talking about healing
we talking about
spiritually.
the innermost healing,
Just
baby.
to
That
clarify
innermost
that,
healing. Yes.
exactly. This is definitely well, it's kind of beyond PG. We done talked about some X-rated topics, but when it comes to the healing, we ain't gonna be laying no hands on nobody unless it's Reiki, okay?
Okay.
Unless it's Reiki. So, all right. Well, if you guys peeped the topic, we are talking about how to use spirituality to enhance your life. We are healers. We practice. We are spiritual, and so we have practices that we use to help enhance our lives. And so we just want to share them with you guys. Each one teach one, reach one. We're not going to gatekeep on all the gems and the ways of life that we have used to enhance our life. We're going to definitely share them with you guys. So let's jump right into it. Now, if you guys have been following us, me and Moon, you know that we are spiritual, but spirituality is not for the weak. It's not for the weak. What you heard, spirituality is not for the weak. Religion teaches you to look above, whereas with spirituality, it teaches you to look within. Okay, look within yourself. It forces you to go inward and rectify anything that you guys have inside that ain't right, that ain't sitting right. It's a never-ending, eternal school of self-evolution. You are always evolving. Everything on Mother Earth, everything on Atlantis is always evolving. Remember that. It's re-educating yourself on the truths, not his story, your story. So it does come a time where you are faced with, wow, is everything that I've been taught a lie? Do I have to basically start from scratch, like get it out the mud and re-educate myself? And sometimes the answer is yes, depending on how far you want to jump down that rabbit hole. Okay, and with me, it was tough. It was a point where I was questioning everything in my life, and I was like, damn, was everything a lie? was everything that was taught to me a lie? And so I had to reevaluate, revamp, regroup, and revisit a lot of things that didn't make sense that I was taught. But once I got myself together, it was all worth it, because healing is eternal and it's never ending, and you never 100% heal. And you're not only doing it for yourself, you're doing it for your bloodline. So once I got myself to a place that I felt like I was all right, things just started happening for me. Like, I was able to connect with other spiritual people. I was able to connect with an advisor that I had known for years that helped me on my spiritual journey. So always remember that when you evolve, it's never ending. And when you have your spiritual awakening, it's going to be uncomfortable. But awareness and acknowledgement are the first steps towards healing. Awareness and acknowledgement are the first steps towards healing. And even if you've given up on life, don't give up on yourself. Never give up on yourself. Your redemption is in speaking your truth. What is true to you? What is true to your soul? Because your soul knows all truths. Your soul knows what the truth is. Even as a little child, when you hear something that doesn't resonate with you, you know that's not true. You question it. And parents, teachers, sometimes even advisors, sometimes they expect us to just take the truth, even if it doesn't make sense. But as you grow older, you'll understand, and understand the things that didn't make sense. They didn't make sense because they didn't resonate with you. And as a child, children are very sensitive, and they are the vocal point to the Most High. So this is why children understand when something doesn't sit right with them from a young age, because they're fresh. They haven't been indoctrinated yet. So always remember that. Let's face it, pain is ancestry. Okay, it's generational, it's historical. So when you are healing yourself, you're healing your bloodline. You're healing a whole lineage of people. You're gaining back that power that was taken from your ancestors when they couldn't fight back. This is why healing is so essential. It's so important for you guys to heal, because you're just not doing it for yourself, you're doing it for your bloodline. And the greatest, the disservice that you do to yourself is being silent. When you say nothing and when you do nothing, that's a disservice to yourself. And that's a disservice to your ancestors. So don't say something. Heal, speak up.
I do want to say, I want to add this to that. It's that same energy as when, so if you're from someone who's Black and brown, and if you have family members that were in slavery, it's that same as we don't talk back to the master. We don't talk back to even the master's underlings. At this moment, I can't think of that proper terminology, so forgive me. But it's like, if I say something, I'm going to get whipped. I'm going to get beaten. And so you'll hold that pain in, you'll hold whatever that thing is inside of you instead of getting it out. It's that same type of energy.
Yes, 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 yes. You have to speak your pain, speak your fears, speak them, because you do a disservice to yourself when you're silent. You don't heal yourself when you're silent. You must stand in the truth of your essence. Stand in it. And this is what spirituality has done for me. I use tarot to help guide me and navigate throughout life. I pull cards every single morning, and it's not convoluted. As much as people try to make tarot complicated, it's not. It's not complicated, and it's very easy to understand. You just have to take the circuitous route and understanding it. You got to take the long way in understanding it, but it's not convoluted. It's very easy to understand once you study it, and once you take enough time, designate enough time towards it to understand, and understand it. So I wanted to go into a couple of spiritual practices that I do, and then if you have any, you are more than welcome to share, because like I said, we're not going to gatekeep. We're not here to tell you guys the wonderful things that spirituality has in store for you and then not share any of the things. We're here to share with you guys what we have used that has helped us on our journey. And these are actual things that I do and that I have done that have helped navigate me on my spiritual journey. So like I said earlier, every morning I pull cards. I ask Spirit, what's my day looking like? What do I need to be wary of? What things do I need to be aware of? And this is why I pull cards. I pull cards every morning. It doesn't matter if I'm in a rush. I'm pulling cards to see what Spirit has in store for me. What do I need to be aware of so that I'm on top of my game and nobody's going to knock me off my block, because I'm already 2 steps ahead of you because I pull cards.
Yep.
Another thing that I never go without acknowledging and paying homage to is my ancestor table. And I actually got into a little tug of war with one of my very close friends. I won't mention her name. And I think she didn't really know how deep I was into spirituality. And she just happened to check out one of my posts, and she was just like, you have an ancestor table? Like, you shouldn't worship your ancestors. And I said, when did I say I worship my ancestors? I pay homage to them. I honor them. I consult them when I have an issue. I burn ancestor money so that any debt that they had is paid off, signed, sealed, and delivered.
Okay.
And I said, huh?
I said, okay.
And I said, I never said I worship them. I said I pay homage to them. But I think it was the video B, I don't know if you saw it or not, where I'm bringing ancestor money and I have like the skull in the back and I have the bottle of rum that my grandfather loved to drink, and I have all these candles, and she's thinking, what is going on? Because she's not too familiar with this side of me, because I never really opened up and shown her this side, because we live apart, so she doesn't see me as far as like being able to touch me. But we talk through social media, and I was just like, you have to understand that when you pass on, do you not want your children to communicate with you and pay homage to you and talk to you and consult you? This is what I'm doing with my ancestors. I'm not on the floor bowing down to them, worshiping them. I'm speaking to them. I'm acting as if like they never crossed over, because they're still here with me. Even though I can't see them, they're still here. So, yes. Long story short, we're really not friends anymore, to be honest. She kind of blocked me, and so I haven't really heard from her. I don't know, but it's no hard feelings. I just don't understand why that post just triggered her. And I think it's from what we were taught. I was taught the same thing she was taught, that you shouldn't dibble and dab in spirituality, you shouldn't consult your ancestors. But again, it's about reprogramming your mind. Reevaluating what you were taught and what you learned, and keeping what resonates with you and dishing what doesn't.
I do want to say, I want to add this to it, because people forget the true purpose of a family reunion. The true purpose of a family reunion is so the family can gather together. And what do? We pay homage to those that have passed on. We talk about their memories. We talk about the things of old that are no longer here, because as the world progresses, so does everything around us. We eat, we celebrate. Some families do the same things, but they also set aside a plate of food for their deceased loved ones. They set aside those, the drinks, the water, they create altars of memorizations for those that come pass on. And that is just to pay homage, to pay respect for those, for our ancestors. And so I think that that is the missing piece, that a lot of people forget. It's basically a communion, right? Even the scripture tells us that Jesus said to do these things in remembrance of me, to take the bread, to drink the wine, as his body was broken, as his blood was shed, in remembrance of me. It is the same thing. But we're not putting our ancestors above God and above spirits. It's just to pay homage, so that they can understand that we still respect the work that they put in on this earth, and we're carrying their legacy. I actually, Bessie, I have to send you that video. I just created a video talking about my grandparents' legacy, and how my cousins, how our family as a whole is continuing the legacy set forth by our great, 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 great grandfathers and grandmothers. So, but yes, back to you.
So, I'm glad you threw that in there. Your boy Will, he said that he has his aunt next to his bed, next to his accomplishments, and that is your ancestor table. Like, we forget that our grandmothers had makeshift ancestor tables when they had like lotions and perfumes and jewelry and pictures on the mirror. That's an ancestor table. Maybe they didn't call it that, but our grandmothers, they had ancestor tables, they had candles. When somebody passes away on the street, I don't know if it's like that where you guys live at, but here in New York, whenever somebody passes away, they put 1,000 candles outside. They light it and they have pictures of the person up. That's an ancestor table. Like, we have been doing this for centuries and didn't even know what we were practicing and dibble and dabble in it. We forgot where we came from. But it's like, we're still remembering it because we still practice these rituals. So it's crazy how it's still like in the back, like it's in our subconscious mind.
Right.
So it's not something to think about, but as we're doing it, we're basically reiterating what our ancestors did and recreating what they did, not even understanding that that's what they did. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So it's crazy. It's crazy. But another thing that I do, okay, so the ancestor table I mentioned, the pulling cards, Psalms. I read Psalms every single morning. There is not a morning that goes past where I do not read Psalms. Psalms is very powerful. If you guys are into like voodoo and rituals and spells, you'll see that a lot of these spells pull from the book of Psalms. So Psalms is very powerful. And any and everything that you guys need, a financial blessing, a healing, to protect yourself, you'll find it in the book of Psalms. And if you don't have a Bible, there are several books that are just specifically for the book of Psalms. And there's one that I did a reel on. You'll find that on my page if you scroll down. And I love my book of Psalms. So, and last but certainly not least, every single night before I go to bed, I always make sure that I call my energy back to me. And this is something that is super simple. You can even do it inside your head. I mean, inaudible, I call my energy back to me is a little bit more powerful, I feel like, because words carry vibrations.
Exactly.
But,
Oh, I was saying exactly.
Right. So I always feel like I need to say it out loud just because it's audible and I feel it, and I feel like the energy around me is like surrounded by the words, and it's like I'm in this bubble of aura and high vibration. So always make sure at night when you guys are going to bed to call your energy back to you, because sometimes people unconsciously take your energy, unconsciously steal your energy, unconsciously take your energy, which is all the same thing. So always make sure you call your energy back to you. Always make sure you guys are doing this. It's a terrible thing for you to be walking around depleted, your cup is half empty, and you're not even knowing why you're feeling this way. It's because the energy vampire put you on a plate and stocked you up with a biscuit. And you didn't even know because you didn't call your energy back to you. So make sure you are calling your energy back to you every single night. And I was going to mention something that I was going to do tonight, but I actually didn't do it. It was with my daughter. I was going to take her out on one of her third rituals that she's done with me. But it was actually a little bit too late. And so I wasn't able to do it because she got tired. But it's a ritual that I do whenever I feel like I need a financial blessing. I call on Papa Likva, and we do our ritual. And she hasn't done it with me yet, but I think tomorrow we're going to perform it. So I'll let you guys know how that goes after we do it. But that's it. I did see a comment. Yes, every night I sit with the moon in my car for solitude to rest, reset, so I can truly, truly rest when I sleep, recharge every day. Yeah.
Yes.
And the moon is going to just enhance your intuition. So I don't know what sun sign you are, but the moon always enhances your intuition, and the sun like recharges you. Yep. So the moon is going to be connected to like your psyche and giving you more like intuition and helping you through situations. And the sun is going to give you that energy, that surge of energy. Yeah. So that's all I had. So Bestie, I don't know if you want to share some of the spiritual practices that you partake in.
Yeah. So I tell people this because I need you to understand my background so you can see why there are certain things that I do. So I was raised in the church, right? So there's some things that I carry with me because I had true spiritual experiences in that space, right? So I continue those things because I know Spirit will talk to me. Spirit is pleased when I do these things. So sometimes, okay, I will start off one that Ashley and I'm getting better at that. That we do together is that.
Either one is good. They know my
name. Okay. So I also have an ancestors table altar. It did not start off that way. It kind of created itself. It's like subconsciously, I had things placed in my house that were linked to spirituality that I never knew. I just knew that I was drawn to these things. And so some of you may actually have things already in your home where you're just like, oh, I just like this decoration, and you call it decor, and Spirit's like, I'm setting you up. Because that's exactly what happened to me. And so what I had, I had like this tree-like ornament on my wall, and it was going to be a family tree. And I was married at one point in time. We will talk about that at another episode. And so it was, my side and his side of the family, and we were going to bring it together and kind of create our own family tree. Well, that did not work out, and it ended up becoming my ancestors' tree. So it's still a family tree, but it's one where I can connect with them on this side from the other side. I also have some mediumship. I'm not going to say medium. Some. I am a medium, and so my ancestors talk with me. So another thing that I do every morning is I say good morning to God, to Spirit, to my angels, to my ancestors, and I thank them for protection. I thank them for leading me on the day. I actually spoke to them right before I joined the channel, and I said, help me, be with me in this space, protect me continually. Because I am someone that is protected, but I still also pray and thank Spirit for protection, which is the other thing. I pray. I do. And some people have this sense of prayer that there's certain words you got to say, but you have to understand that prayers are conversations with spirit. What is it that you want to get off your chest? What is it that you want spirit to do for you? Just say it, open it. Um, Spirit can take it. So even if you're in an angry state, spirit can take it, right? Spirit is not a human being where they're going to get spirit's feelings is going to get hurt because you said something the wrong way. You came out of pocket, But then also understand that you do have to respect spirit. So please be mindful of how you say things to spirit. So I do want to say that. Another thing that I do is, along with prayer, is meditate. There's sometimes I have to meditate and just pull away, but because that resets me, and it makes me become one with myself, one with the earth, one with the spiritual world. I am a child that whose ancestry background practiced shamanism. So there's some things that I'm still learning, to be honest, to be open and honest with you all, that I'm finding out things that I was doing as a child are things that they practice as a shaman. And so, these things were birthed inside of me. These things brought out. So now that I recognize that some of these gifts and things are from shamans, I tune to them and I practice them uh, as I need to, because if you do have a gift, you must practice it, which is why I love how she was saying earlier, every morning she pulls cards, because you're practicing, you continue to use that gift. Because some people say, if you don't use it, you lose it. Um, you don't well, you can't, and for some instances you can't lose it, but it lies dormant until it's awoken again, until you bring life into it again. And obviously I do tarot, right? So but that's why I tell people, that's why we had that one episode where I didn't pull cards, because I want people to understand that I can audibly hear spirit saying things to people. I see visions as I'm talking sometimes. Even on this channel, I can say I'm seeing this right now, because these are things, these are gifts that I have, and Spirit is wants me to use them for the good and well-being of you all. So I'm going to take this time to even say thank you for joining our channel again. For those that are returns and those that are new, again, thank you for tuning in. Yes. I'm sorry. Right.
No, but that is so important. You mentioned something that I forgot that I actually do, but I don't consider it so much meditation because I'm doing like so many other things as I'm doing it. Meditating, that is so important because I feel like it's so much going on in my world that when I'm meditating, I'm also reciting incantations. I'm also speaking to my spirit guides. So it's like I don't like designate just 15 to 20 minutes to just meditate solely. I kind of like combined all the different things that I have to do in the morning time. And so I definitely need to just designate 15 minutes to where I'm just meditating, because meditation just really sets your chakras in order and it puts you in a place of peace to where you can start your day off on the right foot, round chakras at attention hut. So you just made me put a side note in my mental Rolodex that I need to designate 15 minutes to meditate. And also, I was looking at the comment that we had. So you're a Virgo Sun, Capricorn Moon, Leo rising. I just did a post about Capricorn moons, and tell me if this is true. I said a lot of people always talk about how they don't care, but you don't really give two F's unless you're Aquarius moon or Capricorn moon. And I say that because the two signs, Aquarius and Capricorn, when that's your moon sign, it's like nothing really phases you. and it's hard to get like a reaction out of you. Now I'm an Aquarius moon, so I can vouch for it. And another guy made a comment on my YouTube, and he said this comment couldn't be like more truer. He said I'm a Capricorn moon, and it's not that, you know, I don't care, but just things just don't affect me how things would affect like the next person. So if that's true, well, give me a thumbs up.
Come on.
And that's interesting because Virgo makes you analytical, but that Capricorn moon, you know, makes you like, you know what? If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But that Leo rising, like king of the jungle, like you gotta be in the spotlight. So that's an interesting balance. That is a very interesting balance. So let me know if what I'm saying is resonating. But if you guys have any practices for the people that are on, let us know what spiritual practices that you partake in the morning time, the afternoon, or night, and share with the collective. Because, like I said, each one teach one, reach one. Anybody can learn, and we're not here to gatekeep anybody. We have somebody trying to join our live. Judith, if you're on, we may do a segment separate from this one to where we have people come on, but for this particular one, we're not going to have anybody join in. But if you would like to be on our live, just shoot us a DM, just for FYI. So anyway, so that was all that I had. Mangoon, did you have anything else? Now, I know you didn't read the cards yet, so were you still going to read the cards to close us out?
Well, yes. Well, I actually wanted to know if anybody had any questions, and I wanted to bring up. We did briefly talk about tonight's message. I did want to bring the importance of spirituality. Um, it's important because first and foremost, we all have spirits. We all have spirits, and it's important for people to realize that it's just as important to take care of your spiritual self as it is your physical self. I actually had a conversation with spirit about religion, and I said, you know, a lot of people talk about religion, and I said, but they get they get a lot of things wrong because they don't connect with spirit. Um, and spirit agreed, and spirit you basically said, in layman's terms, that you know, people, because we are people, we rather deal with what we can see, what we can control, and people do not like not having control of things. And the spiritual world is all about not having control over things that are happening to us, that we're dealing with. You know, it's that free form of life. But we have to understand that in spirituality, there is that freedom that to do a lot of things that we can't do physically. And so it's important for you to learn about spirituality no matter which road you go down, because that road is for you. We each have our own road. But I also, um, in using it in our everyday lives, it impacts us in ways that we don't know that we're going to be impacted, or how we're going to be impacted. And so, Anya stated earlier, she pulls cards every morning to see what she's got to deal with, you know, and in that it gives you insight of what to prepare for. It's the same as saying I'm going to study for a test, as opposed to I know that there's a test coming up but I'm not going to study for it. Would you rather prepare for the test, or would you rather just take the test and not prepare for it? Think about that. It's also spirituality in some cases is like an insurance. You know, we don't expect to go through a loss or get into an accident, but because it's there, it helps us, right? And if we choose not to use it, then you know that's up to your own free will, right? But would you rather have something to say that, or to let you know that you will be protected at all times? That no matter what you go through, that some instead of getting that karma that you would have if you had went up to homeboy or homegirl and said, hey, you did X, Y, and Z, and I'm gonna get you back. No, you're gonna let spirit handle it and watch them get what they deserve while you still could continue to stay protected because you did not touch them, right? So we have to look at spirituality in that sense. And spirituality is not demonic. I'm going to say that again. Spirituality is not demonic. There's so many people that are afraid of tarot cards because they say, oh, tarot card is demonic. It is not demonic. Tarot cards are into it. Anybody can pick up a tarot card, right? But if you don't have the gift of intuition, you will not be able to properly execute execute the message that is coming out. But you can do that with anything. And I say that because, as I was stating earlier, as a child, I had certain gifts, and I didn't know that was things that shamans did. I used to literally read my Bible and give people scriptures based off of how it felt in the palm of my hand. Did not know that that was something that some shamans did. And I gave it to them, and it was the solution to the problem because that's how spirit directed me. I need you to find the scripture this way. I need you to write it out. I need you to tell this person to read the scripture this amount of times every day for the next however many weeks, or sometimes it was a month. And I would give it to him as a child. As a child. And when I say child, I'm talking like 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 years of age, giving adults these things. And they're telling my mother that what the thing that I gave them helped them. I need you to understand that. So when I pull the cards for tarot, it is that same method. That's why I close my eyes, or that's why I look in the screen. I don't look at pay attention to what's really going on in my hands unless a card flips over or unless something falls out. That is the only time that I look down, because I'm using that same technique to pull these cards. And it's important for people to understand that intuition is real. Intuition is like that is I call it my spidey senses. Thank you, Spider-Man. Because it's like, because it lets me know, hey, something is happening in the atmosphere. Something is going on that I need to address. What's happening? I need to sit with that. I need to be silent and get the message from spirit. And even when Anya was talking about the uh, pulling back your energy, there was something going on in my household where it's like I couldn't wake up. It's like in the middle of the day, I would all of a sudden get sleepy for no reason, out of the blue. And it didn't dawn on me that it was a spiritual attack until later. And I said, wait, I got 8 hours of sleep. I should not be this drowsy. And I was fighting so hard, and it was pulling me so hard. And I said, what is this? And spirit said, you are under a spiritual attack. Something has can't come into your space and you need to get it out. So I began to pray, and I prayed it out. As soon as I finished praying, the spirit was released. And then I opened my door, as we do with sage, because I do burn sage in my house. I opened that back door and say, you have to go. And I was instructed to clap 10 times. I had never done that, but I was instructed to clap 10 times. And that was the benediction for that spirit, like, go and don't return. You're not welcome here. So we miss out on things like that. I'm literally hearing this, so I'm gonna say it how I'm hearing it. Some of you are going through spiritual attacks, but you're thinking that it's physical attacks, like it's something wrong with your body. No, you are going through a spiritual attack, and you need to know how to release that energy. You need to know how to address that energy. And the only way to do that is if you were tapped into spirituality. That's why there are some people who believe that they're going through mental illnesses. No, not all the time it's a mental illnesses. Sometimes you are being spiritually attacked. Sometimes your mind is being controlled by unseen forces. And people may look at you like you're crazy, like, oh, this person said they're hearing voices and oh, they need to go see somebody, they need some medication. Not all the time is that true. But the spirit of discernment, which is what we hear even in the church world, is a spiritual gift to let you see and understand what is happening in the spiritual realm. The only way that you can use this spiritual gift is if you are spiritual. There's a scripture in the Bible that even says, try the spirit by the spirit. You cannot use your physical body to fight off a spiritual force, no matter how hard you try. Your arms is too small. You don't have that. It, I like to say this, like there's a wall behind me. I can't physically go through this wall, but I guarantee if I settle myself down and I meditate heavily, I bet you, like spiritually, I could walk through this wall and see what's going on the other side. There are such things as spiritual travelers, right? Again, the only way you can do that is if you're tapped in spiritually some sort of way. And sometimes you are born with these things. How can you say that you're not spiritual when you automatically do things spiritually? And how can you call it demonic when it's something that you was literally born with? If you are a seer, how can you agree with people who say that your seeing gift is demonic? Now, people will call you a prophet all day long, but if you say I'm psychic, then it's you practicing that witchy stuff. No. Some people know it as psychic and some people know it as prophet. But also prophet has something a little more than what the psychic does. The psychic is a seer. With the prophetic, you can call things to be. So you have to understand that there's a difference between a psychic and a prophet. Both of them can spiritually see things, but a seer and a prophet is still very different. I'm hearing offices in the spiritual realm. Mediumship is a different office in the spiritual realm. So whatever it is that your gift is and your gifting is, don't be afraid of it. Embrace it. Because you have that gift for a reason. You have that gift to help save the lives of people that are around you. You have these gifts to help, as Anya was saying earlier, to break family curses. The only way you can do that is, especially if it's something that happened years ago and was dealing with your ancestors, is that you have to tap in spiritually. We can't physically go back in time. But how many times do you think you can go back in time spiritually? I want you to sit and think about that. Going back in time to correct what's wrong. I have seen the past. I have seen it. And my ancestors taught me why I do certain things is because of something that happened in the past that was unbeknownst to me until it was revealed. And so I did want to share that in this space because a lot of people get wary. Some people are even on the fence now that are watching the show. Like, I really don't know how far I should go. Go as far as spirit will take you. You're not determining this walk. Spirit is determining this walk for you. And I want to make that clear. And do you want to say anything before I go over the cards? Because I did pull cards, but I just had to share that bit of information.
No, thank you for sharing that. And anyone, like Mangoon said, if you're on the fence, don't dive all the way down the rabbit hole because you may feel like you need help getting out of it and it may be overwhelming and a bit too much for you. So just get your feet wet and just always remember that it's not happening to you, it's happening for you. Anything that happens to you is happening for you. People betray us for us to learn how to have boundaries. People lie to us for us to tap into our spiritual gifts so that we know that we are psychic and we can see through the veil to enhance our psychic abilities. Everything that happens to us is happening for us. Always remember that. I go ahead and pull cards.
All right. So I did pull the cards. And what came out is the Page of Cups, which means that, there is some news coming towards your happiness, right? There's some, but not only that, because the Seven of Cups came not afterwards, which means that there's going to be options. So you're going to get a message concerning options that you have. Some of you are like, I don't have any options. You will get a message that will lead you to options. The next card that came out is the Lover. So for some of you, it is dealing with the relationship. It is, I had to make sure, you know, it is dealing with the relationship. It is dealing with a unionship. It is dealing with, um, I'm hearing unearthed love. So there's some of you who felt like your love was buried 6 feet underground. Love don't live here no more is what I'm seeing and hearing. And it's like it's going to be unearthed because another part of humanity is love. So you can't bury love because one person broke your heart. One person sent you sent you down the road packing and said, don't come back here no more, and you got your feelings hurt. No, no, no. Let's not punish something that is literally meant to help change humanity, because in that you will remain in the Five of Cups, which is one of the last cards that came out. You will remain in that energy of this is what happened to me in the past, and I'm still holding on to it. And Spirit is saying, I need you to release that energy, because you're what you're doing is you're still burying, you're putting dirt on top of something that is supposed to help you come out of some things, which is supposed to help other people come out of some things, which is why Anye and I oftentimes on this channel talk about your heart space. Once you get your heart space corrected and right, you will be in alignment. You'll be in a perfect alignment with what Spirit is trying to say. Again, you have to be spiritual to understand these things, because we're saying we may talk about we may use spiritual jargon that you may not be used to, and you may have to look it up. That's your first step into spirituality, FYI. But as you begin to understand some of the things that we're coming out that are coming out of our mouths, there we go, you will understand what Spirit is saying to you exactly. The bottom of the deck was the Four of Cups, but I think that's self-explanatory. We're trying to get out of that woe is me and feeling victimized, and continuing on this journey of um, I've been hurt, so I'm going to remain in hurt. Spirit wants you to liberate yourselves through spirituality, using spiritual practices. So maybe tonight's episode was your Page of Cups. was your message to say that you have options in this world to help bring you up out of that energetic space of negativity, right? And as you can see on the card, there's scorpions and there's snakes here, which means that there are options that where snakes will be present. There are options where scorpions will be present, but there's also options that you have where you're not dealing with anything. It's going to be a peaceful transition. That's what I'm hearing right now. It's a peaceful transition. And the only way to do that is if you understand fully spirituality. No matter what the practice is in, you're going to get a message. So if if this is a new space for you and you're saying, well, I'm just going to consult my pastor, consult your pastor. Your pastor is going to get a word for you on how to fix your issue or how to fix that problem. If you don't practice a religion, you're going to see a billboard. You're going to get some sort of message to let you know that the universe is watching. The universe hears your cry. and your cry is going to be, I'm hearing your tears will be turned into healing. So, so that is what the cards are saying tonight. So, hopefully, and maybe even for other spiritual workers, I'll say this in our arena. Maybe you needed to hear this tonight because your family or your circle, your friendship circle was telling you like you're doing things wrong. You're doing things. You're playing with the devil's magic. You're getting in the demonic space, and you needed to hear that. No, this is a spiritual space. This is a space where you need to be in for you. And people may not often, I always say this too, people may not understand the road that you have to travel at first, but then they start to see it later on down the road. Their eyes will be open to what it is that you're doing. And that's the reading for tonight.
I love that. And I also wanted to add and build off of, the Scorpion card. Because remember, Scorpions, that's the Scorpio. And what do Scorpios represent? Rebirth. So that could also mean a rebirth, a transformation. You are getting it out of the ashes, out of the mud. Phoenix will rise. So that can also be associated with revamping your entire life, like completely letting something die so that something new can be born. I just wanted to add that in. And also, as always, we pull the Lover's card, and that is the twin flame card. So maybe some of you guys out there are embarking on your twin flame journey. And let me just tell you, as someone who has been on the journey since 2020, it's not going to be easy. There's going to be a lot of times where you feel like giving up and throwing in the towel, but you were chosen for this. You're not new to this, you're true to this. It may feel like it's new because it's comfortable and because it's putting you in a place to where you're having to basically open up wounds that you closed many, many lifetimes ago and bear your wounds in front of someone that you may feel like care or doesn't care, or be in and out, running chaser dynamic. So I just want to say that because that was on my heart, that when you pulled that card, the Lover's card, it reminded me of, that is a twin flame card. So that just reminded me to say that because someone out there may be on the twin flame journey. And if you are on that journey, just know that it's going to get better, and don't give up. Don't give in, because it's not over until it's over. And in the end, it all works out. And if it doesn't, then it's not the end. One of my favorite quotes. You know what I heard that at? I heard that at Appalachian.
Really?
I think my roommate's friend had that up on her AIM as her away message. And I was like, wow, that is so true. In the end, it all works out. And if it doesn't, then it's not the end. So just know that if it doesn't work out, it's not the end, because in the end, it all works out. So that's my 2 cents or whatever it's worth. Bestie gave an amazing reading. I love how you broke everything down in layman's terms so that people that aren't too familiar with astrology or tarot, they know exactly what you were saying because you broke it down so fabulously. So thank you for doing that. And guys, we are in episode 17. We've almost hit 20 episodes. Like, I cannot believe y'all have been rocking with us for almost 20 episodes. So we greatly appreciate, love, and value everyone that watches our videos. We know that a lot of you guys can't catch it at this time because it's late, but as soon as I post it, it's like 100 people are viewing it. So we know you're not gonna watch it. We know you're watching.
Yes.
We know you. So we appreciate it. And this was episode 17, Cards and Conversations, where every episode unfolds a deck of intriguing discussions. And like I told the young lady earlier that tried to join the live, if you guys want to join in on our live, we will give you guys that opportunity where we feel like we should have a panel or open up the floor for people to dial in, I guess you could say. So we will give you guys that opportunity. Tonight just wasn't that time, so I apologize for the young lady that wanted to come on the live. It just wasn't the right time to bring you in. But we will open the floor to pull people in on our live. But again, thank you guys for joining in. Cards and Conversations every Tuesday night, 11 Eastern Standard Time.
11. Peace. Thank you all for joining in as well on this platform. Please share. Please share this video to those that you also feel like needed to hear this message. Again, we all do this for, we don't do it in the words of Megan Thee Stallion. We don't just do it for the likes and the views. We do it because this is for you. We do it because this is a healing space. So thank you all for tuning in, and good night.